It sounds more like they're challenging the United States with the new administration that's taken over. Speaking of which, the current travel ban by President Donald Trump and its suspension by the federal U.S. judge, the Trump administration has asked for it to be has appealed for it to be revised. The court has denied this appeal. So, is this victory for those who have been calling for an end to this ban?
No, it is not yet a victory for anybody, because eventually this will go on to the Supreme Court. I think it's the court that will eventually rule, you know, who is right or who is wrong. But for me, I just think that the new administration should have tallied a while before doing this. Because you see, if you read the executive order, it's going to be for about for 90 days, and I think one other one for 120 days and so on. And the question is, given the whole disruption it has created in the system, the question is, why was the president and his team so much in a hurry when this has not been properly thought out? It gives me the impression, when you look at other things they've done, that the Trump administration came to office without clearly defined policies that they want to pursue. And they are doing this in order to buy time, in order to put in place, some of these policies. But they could have done it in other ways. And that's what most of the agencies are saying, that if you sought our advice, we would have given you the best advice. We could have achieved the same thing, but we would have gone it through another route or through another method. But this has not only disrupted the system. All over the world today, there are demonstrations, there are confusion as to exactly the details of who is affected or who is not affected. So I don't really think that it was something wise to have been done at this, at this point in time.
Yeah, because you have people who genuinely have reasons to be in the United States, green card holders and so on. People who are not supposed to be affected are the ones being affected by this ban.
If you expand the argument, if you take because the reason why they did this is that, the Clinton administration had already identified these countries, but these countries were identified not because they had at any time hot American interest. They were identified simply because the Obama administration rather was saying that, look, when we dislodge ISIS and Al-Qaeda from these other areas, our guess is that they are going to go to these countries that are unstable, or countries that would offer them, protection. And these are the countries, not that these are the countries that have at any time hot American interest. I mean, if you take Somalia, Somalia has not, to the best of my knowledge, hot, or Yemen, any American interest. So I just think that the Trump administration came to office desirous to keep a promise they've made. And I go back to what I've repeatedly said, that Trump began this journey, this incredible journey, not too sure whether he would win. And he was prepared to say anything outrageous as policy, And now he's confronted with the reality that he has to fulfill his, electoral promises. I sincerely hope that sooner or later that President Trump will sit down and begin to govern, because he's still in election mood. He still, vehemently, watches television and reacts to quite a number of things. I just hope he will settle down and begin to govern.
What do you think other world leaders are reading from his actions?
Like most people, they are confused. Everybody is confused. If you think today you have an idea of what he would do tomorrow, he'll do something different. And it pleases him. I mean, that's typically Trump. I mean, nothing new, really. But in terms of governance, it is something, something very strange. I was reading some piece in the New York Times today to find out that even incoming secretaries of state are a little bit confused, They are not being consulted, the administration, the departments are not being consulted, and the White House is just giving orders, do this, do that. And they say, look, this is not how policies are made. We need to, sit down, collectively look at these things and begin to see how we govern this country.
Do you think that this confusion perhaps will probably twist or change other people's perspective of what America is. They're the leader of the free world. They're one of the most powerful nations. They're the most powerful nation in the world, and so on.
No, I don't
Does this
think
administration
so.
change the way people perceive
No, I don't
America?
think so. I think a number of people are going to make a clear dichotomy between Donald Trump, that they know very well, and the United States, you know. And so then they're going to make a decision how to live with Donald Trump for 4 years and pray it is not 8 years, you know. Except, of course, if Trump halfway down the line decides to change. You know, when he was coming on after the election, every prediction was that the system would manage him. He's beginning to look and say the system cannot manage Trump.
Well, back to that immigration ban. Other countries such as Nigeria are not affected by the ban, but could that also cause them to reconsider their policy towards America?
No, we really don't have to consider a change of policy. We've tried to maintain a friendly relations with America because we're also looking out for investment, you know, for this country and the rest. What I think we should do actually is to begin to look at areas where I have a very strong conviction that we might have some crisis with the new administration. And that's the area where I have repeatedly said that, because if you listen to Trump and if you take a look at what he's tried to do till today, he's maintained with some of America's major economic allies and you know, security allies that it's American first.
This is where we end the program this week. Tell us what you think. The addresses are right on your screen. I am Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.